Now, lastly, I want to ask you about the Arizona immigration bill. You're on the record of supporting the amended version of the recent bill, right? But last time you made an interesting statement. You're referring to one of the local sheriffs here in South Florida. You said, I quote, "Any one of these deputies today without any further authority from me or the state of Florida, when they make an arrest, they are permitted today, and they darn well should be checking to see if the person they have arrested is rightfully here legally, and they should be doing that. They should be doing that." So my question is there already a law on the Florida books that allows for local officials to check for citizenship?
There is no law, but it is practice, and there's no law prohibiting it. In other words, every police officer, when he or she makes an arrest today, is allowed and has a system called, it's a Verify system with the federal government. Mm-hmm. And they have, when they go in, you go in and book somebody, then you have an immediate access to a federal system to see what the record is, to find out the background, to find out the citizenship rights or the visa or whatever it is that might allow you to be here. And they, as a normal practice, check that. That's a routine thing for most police officers. So they're perfectly permitted to do this. And that's one of the disingenuous things about Mr. Scott's ads, because therefore the Arizona law in that sense that he claims isn't needed in Florida. But what I think we should be doing, and I'm working on a law to do that, I think we should make sure that they can do this, which would be borrowing from the current new revised Arizona law, which talks about arrest, which I favor, and require them to do the check. Now, I think most of them do it. But beyond that, I want to go further than that. I believe that a private citizen today, it's illegal to knowingly hire an illegal immigrant. When I was in Congress, I supported and voted for that law. That was back in 1986. And I'm the guy who led the fight against amnesty back then, because I don't believe anybody who's here illegally should be allowed a pathway to citizenship. I do not believe that. I strongly am opposed to it, even though I believe in legal immigration, and I think that's good for the country. But what I do believe is that when you have a law like that on the books, it needs to be enforced. The way you enforce that law, the very first way, is to make the employer check what they now can check, which is called E-Verify. And they don't do that. And I favored a federal mandate requiring employers, and that law has never passed Congress, but I've been very supportive of it, to mandate that every employer check on it. I, as governor, and in fact as Attorney General, I'm going to propose, and I'm working on it right now, that every employer in the state, at least those who are contracting with the state of Florida, be required to check through E-Verify to see if the person they're employing is here legally.
But not private?
No, this is private. It could be private. These are private companies.
Right.
But at the very least, and I haven't finished the law, we're drafting the law right now. It may cover everybody, but I want it to be certain that we are on firm legal standing, so all of our lawyers are working on it today, with several legislators who are working on a bill that will be a Florida law, a Florida bill, not an Arizona law, that gives us stronger ability to enforce laws in our state and makes it so that we do the kinds of things we should be doing that Florida is missing. I served 18 years on the Immigration Subcommittee in Congress. Mm-hmm. It's one of those ironic things in this campaign that Mr. Scott would try to distort my views and what I've said and legally analyzing a law in another state to suggest that I'm soft on immigration when I'm one of the toughest guys ever to come out of the saddle on this subject. Again, a big, long record in Congress of opposing the illegal immigrant situation in this country and wanting to see the laws enforced against those employers who knowingly hire illegal immigrants. Worked for years to get a Social Security card made as tamper-resistant as the $100 bill.
So what you're saying in closing is that you do support a bill similar to the immigration law in Arizona, but that is encompassing Florida's unique immigration.
Well, that's exactly right.
Problem.
That's a law similar in the right way to Arizona's laws, but not Arizona's laws. I mean, we have our own needs in Florida, and we need to look at it and realize that, again, I point out the fact that the ad that he put up shows one thing, if not anything else, and that Mr. Scott doesn't know Florida law. He's trying to use national issues, but he's not, even though he says he will debate me, we have no debate set, we've tried to do this. I think the reason for that is because he really doesn't understand Florida and where we need to go or what our laws are. And that ad reflects that fact in the sense that already the police officers in this state have the authority when they arrest somebody to check to see if they're illegal. The only question now is, should we enhance that authority? Should we require certain things to happen, which I think we should.